there are some really easy births that are really quick and they claim that it's painless and really easy seeming. Everything happens, really textbook. Seems like a great, beautiful, wonderful experience. And then there's some births that are really hard, really long, really painful. I know personally, I had one of each of these. I had one that was an induction. It was a really long time, and it was in the hospital. Went on for days. Really, I had to push really hard for 3 hours. It was really painful. I got an epidural, but I was still in a ton of pain. And then there's those births that are really easy, and that was my second one. Super easy. It was just a couple hours long, born at home. I had planned that. Everything went textbook, easy peasy, totally healthy. Everything was great. So what was the difference between those two? Not just in my situation, but in everybody's. What's the difference between the easy birth and the hard birth? And I'm going to tell you that it's probably not whatever it is that you're thinking. It's really easy to guess sometimes that, well, it's because one was a home and one was a hospital, and one had an epidural and one didn't, and one was an induction and one wasn't. One was with a midwife, one wasn't. You could go on and on and on about the reasons, the things that make a birth easy or hard. So we're going to get into that in just a minute. First, I want to let you know I'm Jasmine Sasek. I am a certified labor doula. I work with the Birth Zone, and I have a collaboration with many other doulas in the Chicagoland and Milwaukee area. So we do in-person birth support from Chicago through Milwaukee, basically, and then we also do online birth education. You can find out more about us at thebirthzone.com. We also have free childbirth classes on Zoom every couple of months, so go to thebirthzone.com and you can register for the next free class that we do. It's really informative, really empowering. I think you'll like it. So here's the answer. What's the difference between the hard birth and the easy birth? And the answer is that it's luck. That's it. It's basically just luck. Sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. That happens in pregnancy too. Sometimes you get a lot of symptoms. You get terrible morning sickness, and sometimes you get nothing, and it feels great and fantastic, the healthiest you've ever felt. Some people get gestational diabetes, and some people don't. Some people go into preterm labor, and some people don't. Some people get placenta previa, and that placenta is way down low covering the cervix, so you have to have a planned C-section. Some babies are breech, and some babies aren't. There's little tweaks we can make, little suggestions here and there to help with the baby's position, to help with your comfort level during both pregnancy and labor. But at the end of the day, it's basically just luck that makes a big difference. So I don't want you looking back on your pregnancy or your labor experience wondering all those what ifs. What if I had done this better? What if I had taken that advice? What if I hadn't taken that advice? How would it have gone differently? It might have made a difference, but we don't know. Nobody has a crystal ball. We can't look backwards or forwards. All we can deal with is the moment we're in and making the best decision that we can at that time. And at the end of the day, as someone who has seen a lot of births, I can tell you that the difference mostly between those easy ones and those hard ones is really just luck. The other big difference is if it's a first baby or a second or third baby. So don't go comparing your first time labor experience with somebody else's second time labor experience, because those are typically really different. That was the case for me. My first was the really long, hard one. My second was the really easy, short one. That's the one difference that I see. But even then, it's still luck. There's a lot of people who have a really easy, beautiful, quick birth with their first. And there's a whole lot of people who have a really hard, traumatic, difficult, long labor with their second. So a lot of it comes down to luck. There's those little things. You can eat dates. That'll help a little bit. You can work on some different spinning babies techniques for moving baby around in the womb and getting them into a perfect position for birth. That might help a little bit. But there's a whole lot of this whole thing that is out of our control. And that's what we're here for, is to help when we don't know what is going to happen next, and we don't know which choice to make because we don't have that crystal ball. So we're going to help you figure out those steps and what to do, okay? First thing I want you to do is start listening to the Birth Zone meditations. I don't post a whole lot of these anymore because we have a huge library of them on the podcast. They're not on the YouTube, so if you're watching me right now on YouTube, go to the podcast, The Birth Zone, and you can listen to them there. They're purposely made really short and easy to take. They're like 5 minutes long so that you can listen to one every day. a lot of people don't end up using these in labor, and that is okay, because the work you're doing is training yourself ahead of time to stay relaxed and calm in the midst of some chaos and some unknowns. Because I can almost guarantee you, no matter how hard or easy your birth is, there are going to be some chaotic moments. And when those moments come, the more you have done that practice, sorry, I see my little pug sticking her head out from under my bed in the corner there. The more you have done that practice ahead of time, the more easily and naturally you will slip into that sort of centered, calm state that I call the birth zone, that mental space when you face those times of chaos and uncertainty during your labor. Sorry, the puppies are just going crazy today, but they're cute. It's fine. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say today. Please don't get too hung up on doing everything perfectly or doing all the things. I always tell people, animals in nature don't go around researching on Facebook from friends and family what they're supposed to be doing to get ready for labor. They're not looking up how to eat dates and pineapple and all these other crazy things. I love those things. I support the evidence-based practices. I will support you through all of those little things we can do to nudge nature in the right direction. But people go into labor all the time without doing any of those things. Babies get into the right position all the time without doing any special tricks or standing on your head. So do what you can, but also, take a deep breath and take the load off. Don't put so much pressure on yourself, because really about 98% of this whole thing is luck. Okay? And you've got what it takes to handle that, to handle whatever luck throws your way, whether it's good or bad. You can handle it. Okay? Just one more reminder to look us up on the Birth Zone if you want to. If you are on YouTube or podcast, if there's a way to give us a rating or a thumbs up or whatever it is, if you can do that, that would be great. It lets people know that you like this and helps other people find these tips, this help. Non-judgmental support is really hard to come by in pregnancy and labor, so the more we can get this out there to people, it's such a needed service. So on that note too, if you have any friends or family members who are pregnant, please feel free to send them a link to this so that they can listen or watch as well. I wish you the absolute best of luck for your pregnancy and labor.